immediately stops crying. We're at that stage where we can't put her down for 2 minutes, can we? Hey? Welcome back. I have a new member. This is Maisie Ray. Hi, Maisie. Hi, Maisie. Look, can you see yourself? She's currently 5 weeks old at the moment. You're pretty chill. But anyway, I thought we would get into some questions, then that way we can get you guys all up to date as to what's happening at present. I've got 21 responses here, so I'm hoping that I can get through that. All right, so I thought I might do a little bit of backstory. I thought there was a question around it, but there wasn't. But a bit of backstory. So we were trying for Maisie Ray for about 18 months. I got so consumed with the whole pregnancy thing. I started taking Fem21 back in December or January. And honestly, every month after I started taking it, I thought I was pregnant. I felt so different. I felt nauseous and my boobs started changing. There was a whole heap of different things. But the biggest one for me was when my periods did end up coming on, they were so healthy. Like girl to girl, we know when we got like an off period, and we know that we've got like a really good healthy period as well. And yeah, they were pretty consistent. They were still long in between. So when you also are trying, it's like, holy shit, I'm actually pregnant. And then you get so psyched up. I read the pregnancy test wrong. Thought that we were pregnant. I like literally went, I have to call my best friend. So I went to call her, and by the time she had called me back, I had to tell her that I read the pregnancy test wrong, and she has just had a baby herself, and she was just like, I did the exact same thing. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like, the excitement that we felt was amazing. So yeah, which was actually typically the month before we fell pregnant with Maisie. Bada bing, bada boom. Here she is. But it's so true when they say, like, when you literally don't think about it, everything just comes together the way it's meant to. And I feel like even though we've had so much, now that I'm on the other end of everything, I feel like she came at the best time. Any cravings in the first trimester, and when did you start to feel better? I didn't have like any cravings as such, but there was a time when my food aversions were way high. The first thing was in the middle of the night, I was so hungry. Like, I was ravenous, and it shows. She's pretty ravenous as well. In the middle of the night, I literally had to get up, and I was living off peanut butter sandwiches. There was a time when I had up and goes. I would wake up feeling so sick, but then after that, I would be awake for like 2 or 3 hours. But the way I was eating was crazy. So I would have like 3 servings of Wheat Bix a day because I just like needed something. Did try HelloFresh because I didn't want to think about food. Fresh, and now I cannot, for the life of me, just things that smelt in my fridge, it just made me feel so sick. I'm gonna pop this down. Oh, that is actually so much better. Why did I not do that in the first place? That was pretty much it. Like, just the food aversions were crazy. Not many cravings as such. Actually, I do remember Whoppers being a big thing for me. First trimester, I couldn't have anything else but water. I would go through water, like a big thing of water, I don't know, every couple of days. It was insane. When I was able to like have juice and stuff like that, I would actually have soda water and juice together. But overall, that was pretty much it. And in a whole lot of it, the first trimester was pretty intense. Like, I felt quite nauseous the whole time, and I felt nauseous pretty much the whole way through. There were some really good days and nights, but at nighttime I felt really off. So I just sort of seen that as a sign that my body was done for the day and I needed to go lay in bed and go to sleep. Was there much difference in the pregnancies? Look, I carried obviously a lot differently in both of them. In Savannah's pregnancy, I actually couldn't stand fruit or veg or anything like that. I basically just wanted all the fattening foods. So with Maisie, I only really ate a lot of fruit and veg throughout the entirety of it. So that was pretty good, except for towards the end when we were moving and doing all those things. Yeah, I can't say that I ate very well because obviously traveling and moving and doing all that stuff, there was a lot of fast food towards the end. Well, like, I know I've put a bit of weight on. With Maisie, she was born at 40 weeks. Savannah, she was born at 42 weeks pretty much. She was 41 and 6 days. Savannah was 4.7 kilos and Maisie was 3.3 kilos. So a massive, massive difference. Is Bub a good sleeper? Yes, she is a pretty good sleeper. Lately, we've been getting into a bit of a routine where she'll be up from now anyway till probably about 2 or 3. It's like micro sleeps throughout the day. And then at night time, I've been getting like full sleeps, which has been amazing. I'm 9 weeks pregnant and everything is disgusting. So it was really funny when I was laying in bed, I'd be just looking at all these different foods. And so I feel like having recipe cards or having recipe books and having a look through them, if I did feel a bit nauseous, I was always snacking on dark chocolate. So that's 2 recommendations. I don't know. And hot showers. I lived in the shower because I had like a winter first trimester. Every time I got cold, I felt so yuck, felt so sick. And yeah, so hot showers were the way to go. I think I had like 4 hot showers a day. And I'm not even kidding. You said you were working on a project while you were pregnant. Any news on that? Yes, I was working on a project while I was pregnant, but when everything kind of blew up the way it all did with like the whole move and all that sort of stuff, my stress levels were pretty crazy. Obviously my mind had to go somewhere else. There's priorities and I had to work. Savannah was a priority. My pregnancy was a priority and the project just was not. So basically I'm creating a digital magazine. I am still doing. I just obviously have to change it all up because it's all based in, I don't know, October, November or something. I love creating this, which is also why I have a YouTube channel. Life just needs to like calm down, but life is just always lifing. I am a retractable person. That is something I've always just closed off when, like, since I've been a kid. I've always been under stress, been always put into positions and, you know, retracting and dealing with it head on is just like the way I do it. Like I can put it in the background, but I also can't focus on so many different things and I have to just think about the priorities. And at that point, it just wasn't a priority at that point. What motivated us to make this big move and where are you located now? A lot of people have asked me where I'm located. So we are in the mid-coast of New South Wales now. So we have left the Gold Coast. I mean, we didn't live in the Gold Coast for the last year that we're in Queensland, but she was a New South Wales baby. She was conceived in New South Wales. So it's always been her little plan for us to be here, apparently. Hey, it all came together. So what motivated us was, so back in April last year, we were thinking maybe because we are thinking about having a baby, maybe we will move a bit closer to family. We haven't moved for like support or anything like that. It's more so if Savannah asks to go see her family, we can go, yeah, okay, let's go make a day trip out of it and we'll go see our family. And we are that little bit more closer. It's financially a lot more achievable to see our family. Savvy started getting really, really upset when we lived up in Queensland. She started connecting the dots that it was so far in between when she did see her family. I mean, if we didn't have kids, we would definitely still be up in Queensland. We do love it up there. And I have a lot of special memories, especially with Savannah being up there as well. So it's been really hard for me to adjust, but I know that I can make new memories here. Back in April, that is what we were talking about, and Ryan called up work, asked if there was anything that they can do. At that point they didn't line up, the ducks didn't line up for a lot of things. In September, I think it was, we had an inspection done at our place and Ryan was going away quite a lot. So the house was lived in, you know, it was lived in, it was tidy, it was clean, but the outdoor part was not. We are totally accountable for everything that had happened. We had slobber on the door. The dogs had been digging up against the bloody house, and this is a brand new home. He just always wants to be near me. If he can see me, he is happy. He had dug underneath the lounge room windows. I went and got some soil. We put the soil in just so it was like filled in so that he couldn't, you know, do any more damage or whatever. But because I put the soil down, it did rain, and then they put paw prints all over the patio. It was just like one thing after the other. But when the inspection came around, like it was something I just couldn't get to. Got dogs, like at the end of the day, like dirt can be cleaned up, and I didn't have it in me. inspection came around, and behind the property manager was our owner. So our owner had come as well. And the funny thing is that the owner actually started seeing some of my social media stuff, randomly checked on, you know, the views and all that sort of stuff. And I seen that my owner was there, obviously seen that, you know, the dogs had been digging and the state of the patio and all that sort of stuff. Our property manager, I feel like she made it a lot worse than what it was. She recommended not re-signing us. We had to fix up all of that. Again, Ryan was away a lot. I'm pregnant. I have another daughter. We cannot afford to get kicked out of here. I was literally losing sleep over it. If my pregnancy wasn't, I was losing sleep over the fact that we could be kicked out of our home and have nowhere to live. And we knew that the rental crisis was pretty crazy. I just started freaking out. So my stress levels went really, really high, which also brought on a lot more nausea and fatigue and all that sort of stuff as well. I'm trying to pop her down. Maybe free for a moment. So that email came through, we did that. So they came for the second inspection. I had gotten up at like 4:30 in the morning just to wipe down all the doors. I did everything that they wanted to do. Even the day before, I mowed our lawns, I cleaned up the backyard. And then at 4:30 in the morning, I literally went over the whole house again to clean it and all that sort of stuff. And you know what? Meanwhile, we had people like our family coming over and going, oh my God, your house is so clean and all that sort of stuff. Yet in our email, it said that our house was, what was it? The house cleanliness was like below average. Difference between the house or maybe outside. I understand that the outside was below average because I can vouch for that. I'm accountable for that. Totally. We are accountable for that. Our dogs are. No, but to say that like the entirety of the house, we even got pulled up on the fact that there was a couple of cobwebs at the front of our house. When September is like the start of spring, that's when all the spiders come out. It's like they were brand new. And there was like a space in between like the toilet and the shower that we hadn't gotten around to yet. Basically just from like these little things, the owner was not interested in re-signing us. And I'm like, what the hell? Our lease ended literally 4 weeks before Maisie was set to be born. We had like our C-section planned up in Queensland. We had everything all planned out, but we'd never considered the fact that we would be moving, like actually moving. The funny thing is the day after we received our email from the real estate, Ryan received, like seen this email, somebody had left the mid-coast and they'll be looking for someone. So basically that's our motivation, work and family, a bit more lifestyle as well, which is also why we have moved to the mid-coast so that we could be a bit closer to beaches and, you know, do fishing and all that sort of stuff, especially having 2 girls now. And Ryan was going away so much back up in Queensland. Now that we have 2 girls, this is his prime time of his life as well with his children. And I don't want him missing out on all of that and spend that beautiful time with him. You seemed really stressed over your move. Are you right now? Yes, I was very stressed over our move. Obviously, we couldn't find a property for ages. We were unsuccessful in so many properties. It was ridiculous. We started freaking out. We were just like, we're about to have a baby. We have nowhere to live. We don't know where we're going to be. Time is crunching. Like, I'm about to give birth. Luckily enough, our fate changed. We are so grateful and happy for the way how everything had actually turned out. We have had noise complaints from our neighbors about one of our dogs. We've got some things to sort out there as well. But look, you're always going to have your challenges with new adjustments and things like that as well. Do you feel like your planned C-section was healing? If you've been here for a little while, you know that my birthing with Savvy was pretty intense. It was pretty intense to say the least. She got stuck. I went in for an emergency C-section, which is why we planned the C-section for this time. And luckily that we did because of all the stress that we were under. She ended up going breech. And then day of the C-section, they did a quick scan and she had gone head down, which was just amazing. And obviously like the size of her, I feel like I could have taken on that challenge. Look, it is what it is. And I feel like things are meant to be the way they are. But to say if it was healing, look, they were both experiences. Savvy's experience was healing from it. It was more of the fact that I'm just so grateful that I have Savvy and that I'm here. You heal with time and just how special your little baby is. I feel like that is already healing in itself. But the experience that I got with Maisie, I wish I did get that experience with Savvy. I don't know, I feel like I wish I remembered a little bit more with Savannah's birthing and all that sort of stuff. I just remember all the yucky things. They're both beautiful in their own way. Are you going to do a birth story? I think I might do a moving and birth story together because they all twine together as well. How have you adjusted with 2 littlies? Honestly, Maisie has been pretty good. She's 5 weeks, you know. I feel like the hardest is from about 6 months, like when they start eating and stuff, they start having all those tummy problems and things like that. I feel like if you've got like a colic newborn, that's going to be hard. Dividing my time and with Savvy and stuff as well, that has been challenging. There have definitely been challenges in that regards. I know that there's another question there, like how Sav adjusting. She has been okay. There have been some challenges. I feel like keeping her involved and letting her be a part of it is a huge thing. She's definitely getting better. Savvy's gone back to preschool this year. I get like 2 days with just Maisie. And I think I'm balancing it okay. And like obviously I'm still learning. That's just the whole thing of it. Are you planning any more kids? I had the lady who brought Maisie here come up to me and she said that my uterus has got a lot of abrasions on it. She asked me like what we're doing to protect ourselves from future babies. Are we planning on future babies? I was actually going to go into it and get my tubes removed, but my anxiety was high almighty and I didn't want to be in there for any longer than what I needed to be, and so I kind of backed out of that. It was getting closer. I was just getting so upset. Like I was getting a little bit like, oh, but what if I want to or whatever. But the lady did come out and say if we were to fall pregnant again, there probably would be some future problems. When I was in recovery, I did have a postpartum hemorrhage, and that was just because my uterus went really floppy and stuff. So they had to do some beautiful things to me to fix that up. She pretty much just said like, you know, if we really wanted another one, then I would really have to talk to someone about it. But we are pretty sure that this is completing. Well, I say I'm pretty sure, but yeah, we are done. We are completed. I'm obviously just in newborn stages. Like, you know, if you love it, you're always going to crave that feeling of bringing a little human into the world. And for us, Maisie completes our family. So we got our Savvy who gives us all the firsts, and we have our Maisie that gives us all of our lasts. So we have been soaking it up. Can you believe the kids are the big 5 this year? Where has that gone? It's come from one of my girlfriends. I know the big 5 for Savvy is like, just noticing how much she has changed in the last few months. Like just from moving from Queensland to now, I'm just like, I feel like I've been asleep and I've literally woken up and my baby is not a baby anymore. It's disgusting. Like it's actually disgusting. It's beautifully disgusting. We are having a 5th birthday party for her. Such a big milestone even for us parents. Crazy. Like, oh. My home screen is still Savvy as a toddler. That's my screen. 2 at that point. 2 was my favorite, so I'm so excited for Maisie to be 2. But I just look at that little girl and just go, oh. And I look at Savvy now and I'm still seeing that little baby. It is so true with what they say. It's just like you wake up one day and it's like, holy shit, like, oh, what has happened? I think like being consumed in pregnancy and moving and all that sort of stuff, that does not help. How's the extra washing going? I'm actually on top of it. Like I don't have a problem with it at this point. I've always been the one to put washing overnight time and then put it out the next day, and sometimes if I hear it go off, like I have actually got a Bluetooth thing saying that your washing cycle has been completed, so I can literally go put another load on if I need to, and then I can put it out in the morning, which it just works wonders. And how are you really? I feel like I'm a lot better now. Mentally, I was not okay. Emotionally, I was not okay. It's not overly hot here, but I would love to go for like a little walk and then go for like an ocean swim. I think that was pretty much it anyway. So that's gonna wrap up everything. So we have to say bye. And you say bye. Bye.